Right, there we are. We've arrived. It's Saturday. It's cards time. Oh, it's an unusual sight. It's a bear that's actually, somewhere competitive for change. So, what's up? Hopefully everyone's well. What's the deal? We are 21st on ladder because we are. I fell into a period of having some relatively successful play sessions and settling into a deck that I like. So we're gonna see how it goes. Seemed like a good opportunity to talk a little bit about what early season looks like at the top of ladder. I will say this is very early season. There's a long way to go. We're only talking about 2,500 at the top of the season, and we see some familiar faces. Oh, hey, Nolan. That's alright, I'm probably not going to do many friendlies today anyway. Got Red Sun on. A few. We're still kind of waiting to see a lot of the bigger players actually making pushes. So what got us here? This. This deck is not new. This deck does not involve anything spectacular or from the new expansion. This deck is just a very consistent air deck that runs answers. That's it, really. Just a deck I know backwards that I'm playing into a meta where that's helpful. It's really not needed. I've not found myself ever finding this threat. Most of the time at the moment, I would rather have the extra number 9. There was a way for a while. I was running 2 number 9, but it got clunky because I'm not necessarily always playing orders. And we've got BREDA and Regia, which are just more consistent. Probably big key points. Hey, cool, how you doing? Great video, by the way, on Commandos. Loved one. Been catching up on your stuff, and remember to give you a follow. Because I'm terrible at that stuff. I've got to say, been good. We'll see. I mean, we'll talk through it, see how we get on. Is not a claim that this is the best deck. I will say this is not an easy deck to win. It's a deck that requires you to think. But what I was saying about removal is I very much want number 9 commandos around a lot. Because there are a lot of individual units just want off the board quickly in the meta. So this is Germany. So handlock is possible, discard is possible, burn is possible. In all cases, we're definitely pitching the 2 orders. We are not going first, so I'm tempted to ship the Fiat. But if they don't play a body, it's an incredible tempo play, so we're going to keep it. I occasionally am tempted to ship the Fiat. If I knew what my opponent was playing, it would give me more of an idea. So if they're on handlock, Fiat will probably be fine because they're probably, there we go. So they're not dropping anything turn 1. Fiat turn 1 is good because it gives us a 2-2. They're unlikely to come out blitzing fast. Pretty much a Japan-Soviet trick at the minute is the big aggro deck, you see. So we're early blitz doctrine. So, okay. They're either on a bad hand or they're playing a much more mid-range Germany deck. It's a little weird. I'm not sitting here going, yep, I 100% know it. So there are different trains of thought here. But I'm actually going to be a bit weird. I'm going to put wolves down without the blitz. Because I'm expecting discard. So I don't want to run the risk of it being pitched. Oh, hey, cool. Yeah, I would tend to agree. I don't want to run the risk of it being pitched out of my hand. Now that's interesting. That's eaten a good chunky piece of removal. I don't mind. So we'll run face. And I think we'll double swordfish. There is a lot of German ramp out there too. I've come across a few of it out there. I think by far the most common thing I play into at the moment, though, is actually just German discard. This looks like a much more conventional list, which is fine. We have the credits to simply remove this thing. And put ourselves in a good position in the process. So I think I'm inclined to do so. So MACCHI will buff itself. We could pin it with Albacore, but Albacore is much more useful. And this is a consistent moment for Shark. Going to get the full 3 off of Shark. If this is going to be a more slow Germany deck, I would rather deny them presence on the bar case. It's going to be Route. That's fine. There's a lot of people running 4 copies of Route at the minute. Fine, I suppose. If that's your jam. We're holding on to Ultra because we want Ultra in about 3 turns' time. They're fishing. So they are going to... This is going to be probably... Yeah, so we've got a bit of ramp, which probably... They do have a very good crossfire, unfortunately. But we are going to do something about that. We're going to do this, because they handily gave us something to do it with. I'm also... No, I think I want to push. Now's not a great BREDA moment. Shark's not doing anything really important at the moment. He's there. Now they're on 9. If they've got it, they'll play it, but we have... Okay, so... This should be interesting. Panzer comes down. Up to 4. Fine. I'm fine slow rolling. Infantry's not a threat. A couple of weeks back, I think. Somewhere in there. I mean, I'd rather have hit the Blitz doctrine, but they had ramp in hand, fine. Okay, so the fact that we've got pin in hand is useful because really it is just gonna be a war attrition. Too good to pass up? I think it probably is. So we albacore here. can't do anything with that because it's smoke screen. So I guess we that way because I forgot smoke screen was a thing. Yeah. I mean, we need to find some books. I mean, okay. Now, this is interesting. So we have a complete board clear, and I'm inclined to use it. So we're going to use Regia. And we're just gonna clear the board and sit our opponent back down on the north. Out. So we've probably lost unless we find pin. Oh, never mind. I tell a lie. No. No, you may not. I see a lot of this. Mouse was a win condition at the minute off of double blitz doctrines. This is the problem with it, though. If your opponent can remove it, sorry, Zia, I am trying to concentrate at the minute. You probably have turned those off. Remind me to refund you your points. Yep, mouse is pretty much the deal. Oh, good lord, you're running the 1-2-3 combo. So, we're not going to do anything overly clever here. Hey, Redson. We're not going to try and get clever here. I mean, you've got the credits. You absolutely have the credits. Rating ass loss. If you find it, you find it. So the 1-2-3s thing, it's very easy to build a deck that can proc a couple of different. You can definitely do well off it. Well, you'll see that deck on it. I don't see it hugely often, but I do see it. We've got another Germany matchup. We'll talk probably a little bit later about the distinct lack of commandos. Hopefully everyone is well, by the way. Once again, mouse hunting deck. A pretty decent turn too. We might top deck a bomber, which would be helpful. Don't. So fine. Early on, we're just looking to get some damage in. Dukes. In it. It's also just good because if you know how to play it, you can get wins. It's a pretty good solutions and to a lot of good answers. Might as well KITTYHAWK. Get another body on the board. Crossfire's a possibility, but if they've got it, they've got it. Oh, it's Blackwatch. That's fine. Blackwatch problem. Not when it's dead. 24, 25 at the minute. Are capped out at 3 season. I mean, it's Albacore. I mean, if you believe that I'm a competent player and being in the top 6 is a good sign, even I mean, it is early season, but yeah, I would say so. I've been very successful on it. Oh, it's handlock, so we're definitely doing this. No. No, you may not. Absolutely, categorically not. No. I say again. No. And we're digging. Snap take, so probably mouse. That's fine, I needed to clear the back line anyway. Yeah, we BREDA. This. Worry about clearing that. Yeah, for good measure. Don't have 12 to play mouse, so Alpenfestung it will be. Have to move this. Be on at the minute. 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're too expensive at the moment. We'll drop an extra MACCHI. And we'll hand refill. Six, you say? Oh. Could have done that more efficiently. Probably should have done. Miscounted the damage off of my bombers. Should have stopped to do so. So ourselves out a little bit, but realistically, I'm deeply unconcerned. Oh, I think I'm good. I'm not going to overcommit. As you're digging for mouse. GMO, hello my friend, and thank you for the subscription. Yeah, got lethal hand. Not gonna hang around. Anything blitz. Could have done one extra point of damage. Kind of would have been pointless. Now we're just running route. Roaring. Away slowly and surely to the inevitability of, I assume, pressing this button? Don't have mouse, so... And you've already burned capitulation into my ultra, so... Nope, crossfire doesn't do it either. Good try, though. We didn't leave you the crossfire. No. Right, let's see what my actual rank is at the moment. There we go, 22. There is actually some, you know, legs left in an old horse. Another Germany deck. So probably in front of the longer one. I quite like wolves into this matchup. Germany's not super fast. Turn 2 or 3 wolves could be quite good. So we shall see. That's okay. Let's do this first. Got any countermeasures going off? Possibility. It might just be Blitz Doctor in turn 2 for the 3rd time in this. Oh no, we're ramping. So, I very much like this turn 3. Because now we're asking for an answer. This is just a pressure card. It eats removal. It's not necessarily there as a win condition. I mean, if they leave it, it basically is a win. But it's a pressure card. Devil's Brigade's a good start. So, we'll do it this one. Little bit more leisurely. Just to give us a little bit more bomber option. Crossfire's a thing. Not a lot we can do about that. Eat one. That ever happened to me in cards? I mean, I've never really been that competitive in cards. I suppose Aggro was close. I've never liked climbing on Aggro, and I definitely reached that point during the Jet meta. Jet Proto meta, I definitely at that point. I was kind of nonplussed. Yeah, this works, right? Yeah, brings everything to... Yeah, because you only have 3 damage. So... in other games, yes, absolutely. I went through the Arcbound Ravager meta in Mirrodin in Magic. That was appalling. Didn't like playing the deck. But it does go to the point of kind of one of the reasons why this stream will probably go up on YouTube. Which is, I think it can be an interesting case in point in... That's some for you. And emptying, but I really need to take the tempo off you. But it does kind of go to the point. One of the things you sacrifice. This is the only deck I have played this season. Otherwise, I wouldn't be the rank I am. I have not played any other deck this season. And as long as I am attempting to maintain a rank, I won't. Unless the meta changes and I find that I can't get wins. Because my brain is zoned into playing this deck and its matchups on ladder. Kind of need to find some draw. Thinned our hand a bit. That will do. It's less than ideal, but it will do. Because it requires an answer. But yeah, I've been in that place in competitive spirits, especially when I was playing games that I actually wanted to beat at. There are plenty of decks that I've played where I've just really not wanted to. Do it. You've got the buff. You got 4. No, wait, you don't. There's no... If you need a 3-cost blitz tank that would come down at 5/5. No, it's not happening. Right, fair enough. So, up we go. But this is part of the... Yeah, Japan Intel is pretty rough. It's winnable. I think I'm about 50%, give or take. But you are much more hand dependent. Most of the matchups. Hand lock's a bit of a pain. But not world breaking. Okie dokie, so we almost certainly know what this is. So we're going fishing for bodies because we just want to go quickly. There are only a couple of things this could be. There's not a lot of Brit. I don't know that I... Okay. That's... thing. Jeff, an opponent discard double Molotov on turn 1. Yeah, I don't like Molotov. The fact that there is any mathematical chance that that can happen. Terrible, terrible card, and everyone should stop playing it. There is loosely a 10% chance that you end up turn 1 opinion with that card. But hey, what the hell do I know? I think we just MACCHI and hit face. We can buy a turn when you push these up, which you're going to need to do. Okay, this is not what I was expecting. Cromwell is... This is some kind of... I think we hope to draw number 9. Game. But we can start revving the engine. Would have preferred to keep Monty, but we really need to answer that thing. really need to turn these off. If you spent points, let me know. Because I'm quite focused at the minute, I'm probably not running those things. I mean, right now, just deal with this because it's there for... Trying to find the button for those not being on. Note that Zia and non-GMO salt have spent. Oh yeah, I can run a test, but it wouldn't be a competitive one. I have a feeling you want the front line for something. I it to you. We shall see. But I mean, this is life. It's an interesting point about live streaming. If I'm going to be streaming and thinking about doing anything remotely competitive, but if you are in any way attempting to ladder, unless you're, I guess, shaking or equally ludicrously good at this game, you need to focus. Okay. Radars. Wow. Okay. Completely misaligned HQ. Hey, both sound interesting. Gonna see. Drop this, then Regia is, yeah, Fiat Shark. Regia. There it is. Hey! How you doing, peaceful turnip? There we go. And it's just a matter of knowing where the clear was. Fortification would be annoying. Wow. I did not see that coming. Great France. And with all the respect in the world, at my elo. What cooking's the... I mean, you're also cooked. But... Got it? Nope. Just checking. Wait a minute, that's an E-load. Hang on. Yeah, sure. Reload you. 45. Yeah, sure. Like turnip-like friend. Anything in particular that you're wanting to play? Um, Away from the massive pile of meta decks that I currently have. You will note there are only 3 decks that I have highlighted on here. That is because they are only the decks that I see regularly in meta for specific reasons. Challenge? Fine. This. Oh, it's just getting worse. Oh dear. Is just getting... Yeah. Get board presence. Do that. Anything. Have a shuffle deck? How good it actually is. Relative. Trouble. However. Fine. Do that every time I reach to press end turn, even though it automatically ends my turn. Yeah, it will happen. Okay. Form of the in. Right. You're not loving that at all. Okay. Fine. Gone. Oh. Ah. Ramped kind of crazy combo? Clicking on the... I just deny you access to the... Okay. Could have done that slightly tidier, but such life. Not a deck that I'm used to playing. Another thing which you will notice, by the way, if you're laddering and you're only playing one deck a lot, you'll struggle to concentrate on a different deck. Sure, why not? This is your list, yes. This is your Jurfin Heinz list, Core, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I pulled it off your video while I was watching your video, The World of Too Much Information, enjoying a very comfortable, relaxing bath, watching your video, and I just had to pick up my phone and pull the list and play it a bit because it looked like fun, and it was. Yes. There's a way that this could just get ugly. That is one very big tank. Which is not really a tank, it's an armoured train. Okay. This J King's 123's look. Dude. 123's, but using nerfed. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, because I know exactly how this works, is do this. Yes, it does. And we're going to do this. Right. Attempt to resume my concentration back to... as usual... A bad day, 17, which is fine. I'd very much like to get back in the top 10. That would be enjoyable. Yeah, this 1-2-3s thing. It's combo decks all over again. I'm too much of a dinosaur. You will never sell me on combo decks being worth the effort. Because they're never going to get 75% win rates. But I'm too much of a CCG dinosaur. Mind you, if a combo deck is getting that win rate, we've got a serious problem. Right, let's see. Focus, remember we're actually playing... So this is most likely either going to be Japan-Soviet Japan-Soviet Aggro or Japan-Poland Intel. It's looking much more like Japan-Soviet Aggro. That's okay. See, I have a feeling that Core and I would sit down and discover we agree on a great many things when it comes to card gaming. One of them being that combos are just lunky. We're not at home to that nonsense. If you want to push up the tank and trade, that's fine. Well, there's a thing. Yeah, I mean, bear in mind, I started playing when Magic was on, so I probably played most card games anyway. Name now. Ooh, BREDA's so good right now. Starts to shut down some of this nonsense. This is this ludicrous Japan-Soviet high roll. This card is terrible! It's a bad card. Card is actually demonstrably awful one in your deck. You get 3 damage and possibly hand your opponent a win condition. Otherwise, they just hold 4 damage that they're only ever going to play when it's favourable to them against any good player. Carrier Battle is just a terrible card. Fight me on this. We do this. And we do this. Just get the full damage run. Yes, but this isn't burn. I mean, it doesn't seem to be. This is Japan's Soviet Colm High Roll. And I'm about to make this player thoroughly miserable by doing this. It's just a bad card. Hot potato cards, interesting design space, terrible in practice. In burn, I can actually sort of see it, because you are correct. In theory, they can never pass it back to you. Of course, they don't pass it back to you. They just wait until you've only got 4 health left and kill you. Or at least that's what I'd do. Actually have done twice this season. But that's a different conversation. Although granted, in one of them it was a season I wasn't anywhere near up a ladder, and it was during my climb to Field Marshal, and I'd be doing it just to be a bit of a dick. And I apologise if the opponent who played me in that match sees that, because I really shouldn't have been such an arse about it. Could have won the game another way. I just got cranky and therefore killed you with your own card, which I should probably not encourage people to do. Right, so we're going to go order fishing. No, if you want to set up the crossfire, you can do it yourself. Probably stretch some damage and going to be ramp again. MACCHI's lovely. Happy to see you. Hey, or is MACCHI not a great use for suppression? It's not really the best of targets. Don't set up a crossfire, so we'll take it. 8 damage on board. A Bergman the 1-2-3s? But carry on. Yeah, Bergman 1-2-3 I've seen a fair few of. You can do some fun stuff with it. My expression wasn't in any way aimed at my opponent doing anything that I wasn't expecting. It's just the timing was weird, but presumably they had a terrible hand. Bergman 1-2-3 is actually quite funky because it can print you an awful lot of bodies and credits, because Bergman is really good. I like Bergman. So I know this name reasonably. This is Commando's, which is probably really bad because this is the first bricked hand I've seen in the last 2 days. And France control, fair. I mean, maybe we get lucky and they think they're playing a Commando's mirror? I love this board, by the way. Yeah, I think I'm desperate enough, which makes me very sad. Not that it's usually any good for popping commandos anyway, but we've got to start being able to put damage out. So I assume this will be War Machine. Or not. Opponent presumably has the world's worst hand. Yeah. Eight damage it turns. Well, technically 9 is not terrible. Right. Not quite sure what was a mistake. You're being AFK or me playing Spitfire. But you're not spamming emotes, so I assume there's a reason for this, but this isn't looking good for you. Countermeasure? Much? Hey, Laser Wars. Overdraws the commandos. That's got to feel bad. That's got to feel very, very bad. This. We're doing this because it can shut down anything that is liable to happen. Because right now... Yeah. Don't do that. 3 credits and you're playing Brit. Unwise. That was Commandos not played brilliantly well. But I will say for those, because the Commandos debate is an ongoing thing and I have strong opinions on it, I do not see that much Commandos in the top 100 and certainly in the top 20. It's not consistent enough. When you do see it, it's on players who are most likely playing a lot of it. It's interesting because I want the deck changed, but I want the deck changed for very different reasons. And thank you, yeah, it's alright. I've had a good start to the season. It's not intentional, I just happen to discover that the deck that I enjoy playing the most is really good right now. I got off to a decent start. Okay, so hopefully what's going to happen at this point is we're just going to end this before it gets started. So the raid is fine. There's only so much at this level that you can actually, yeah. You're not nowhere near fast enough. Oh, close. We're nearly back in the top 10, folks. Which would be nice. Not gonna lie. But yeah, it's been a good start to the season. It's been fairly successful. No. US mains, it's probably 123's nonsense, so we just want to go really, really quickly. Really seen anything other than it might not be. Are you actually climbing on? I kind of like it. Wow. High roll city. Massive high roll. Oh, this could be bad. Pink. Shark. Yeah. You get the body on the book. Okay, what? Sorry, what now? Monty. Oh god. Well, this could be bad. Doubtful they're cheating. I think just eye roll. If they were cheating, they'd have won by now. This would be a really crappy way to cheat. It's just maths. Just the mother of all high rolls. Yeah, I agree. It's comic value, not your cheating value. I have no concerns. We don't have the credits to pull the Regia trick, so we do what we can to leave ourselves with the board present. Oh, that's unfortunate. See, again, just bad. It's just RNG. And that's fair. It's more comedic than it is anything else. We can deal with those. Alright. Slightly harder to deal with the... Oh, no. Fine. Yeah. Draw. So then... Fine. Oh, this is ugly. So ugly. Okay. Aren't half. Oh. Okay. It's fine. Kinda. Oh, they topped it. Yep. Had to find pin. Didn't. Such is life. We are edge. Yep. Had to be Albacore or Monty. So we had a 3 in 4.25 at the time chance, which is not great. Yeah, ain't worried about there. Odds aren't great. I'm not doing the hypergeometrics in my head because I'm trying to concentrate. Okay. Don't want you anywhere near the front line. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Oh. This. Sabo plays the naval, gets the buff. Don't really care. Just mad. This deck's gonna need to actually get a board grip to. Need your shuffle units to stick. Sure. On. Then we can either front line. Ifu in push. Get shock. Got a naval card. Yeah, so Mikura gets you thing, but it doesn't reduce the op cost. Yeah, so this. I'm just not letting. Again, if you're into this deck, just don't let anything stick. So the other thing that is notable about Italianair at the moment is you don't have to play it as aggro. Notably, at the moment, I'm playing this more like a board denial or control deck. Well, that's not sticking around. Unless you've got clear. There it is. There's the first route, summoned handily by Mr. Salt. Much appreciated. Burn. Depends on how much more pin they've got. outside of more pin, there's not actually a lot they can do, because now they're looking to get a draw engine going. Let's see. So we can... White, we need a buff we don't have. Have to do this. This. This and this. And later just they do. Predictable, but that's why we dropped. By the way, that's why we played the not the swordfish gladiator, but there's nothing we can do about that. We can sack the gladiator. We still got clear if they don't bounce another card, but they'll pin one. So we need to top deck, which we didn't. Wood edge. Put the MACCHI down. Start trimming, but we may very well be just edge. Not a lot we can do. Opponent, yeah. That means they've got Bismarck, I assume. Maybe? Wait, you're sustain. But right. That was pointless. I just didn't understand why the first one didn't go. The confused look on my face was as soon as they played it, it was like, you've got Bismarck in hand. Of course you've got Bismarck in hand. But then they didn't play it, and I was... Although we did leave credits floating, so they might have needed to check for... No, because it was just over. I was going to say, did they need to check for... Ultra, but... Have it. Fiat CZ. Back to Britain. Probably Commandos, although I was seeing some other... Playing with the possibility, but the positioning's too good not to take advantage of if we get it. Yep, it's Commandos. So we like Wolves against Commandos, and one of the reasons is it's got 5 defense. Makes it much less likely that this thing is going to do it. This is the easy... Oh, it just got even easier. I'm going to say this is the easiest turn I've ever played, but it's even easier now. That's very brave, committing a commando that early. Right. I see where you're coming from. I do. Go on. No. Wasted turn. Books for me. Bye. I mean, 8 credits is a good number. I don't think it's good enough. Raider, isn't it? 11 credits is a scary number of credits. Feel some value? Can't pull a second one. Acted convoy. But oh, you're digging for wave. You're digging for wave after wave. So that's a good sign. There we go. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Always check. Not bad. I need a brief bio break, and then I will return. I'll leave the deck on screen. Those. Right, we back. Oh. See how we do. But I've not been in this kind of a mode in cards since, I guess, my first or second month of playing. Not particularly been zoned in on a deck for a while, because I've been spending a lot of time just looking at different... We're gonna get first chance at Legion? This is not a bad hand into Legions. I think we're gonna keep it. Pitch the draw. No. So, fair enough. Gladiator down for the minute. Move Shibata on turn 3. Wow, they thought I was playing Commandos. Yeah. Not so much, I'm afraid. This is literally anti-commando deck. Well, removing you. Indeed. I probably would have killed the bomber. Not gonna lie. Yeah, so Shark does 1. Buff bomber does 2. We'll eat the damage. Can't kill either of the bombers. Problem for you. What? What are you doing? I'm so confused. This is thing. Yeah. Sure. We can do this and this. I'm speechless. Unless I'm playing Commandos, you've just lost. And I'm not. Word to the wise, don't tech yourself against one deck. Sure. Interesting. For certain. Not at all what I was expecting, but that's okay. We don't like wool so much. Swordfish is fine, everything else kind of chaff. Yes, it's a bomber. No, I'm not. Okay. There are a number of ways we could do this, depending on what we draw, but I think, honestly, down. Because they're dead anyway. Oh, it is going to be our first experience of legions. Always interesting. Dead. These are dead anyway. What we want to do is maximize their value in death. You just draw. There's what we needed. It's fine. It's strong, but is it brokenly strong? Is it the reason? I don't think it's the reason that Legions is as good as it is. I think all the new Intel cards, the Legions is as good as it is. Not gonna lie, it's definitely good. Arnau's value's limited. And there are better things. Hey, Intra. Oh, where are we? 14 or doing alright. An okay kind of a season. Gonna do this. Then we're gonna do this. Arnau can only do so much, but yeah, it's been a good start to the season. I don't expect to be there at the end of the season. I don't have the sweats left in me for it, but what did you retreat? I wish I could say what you retreat a little bit more efficiently. Oh, how I'd love to see Regia. As it is, There's a few things we can do. This is doing the damage regardless. So then we're going to drop this. Allows us to move to block the bomber. They can now push up. And we're going to have to dig for some answers. But we are due to find both draw and or some AoE in the near future. So we don't find it, we don't find it. Raiding Brigade is fine. Fortunate date. Like, gonna want draw. Ultras. This. I think you hold up Ultra anyway, just in case you go for a big intel play. Alpha. Well, he's not a bad draw. Getting us a card closer to where we need to be, but that's 11 damage. Not loving life. Looking very bad, not gonna lie. 12, 13, it's over. As we pop Regia, then. Yeah. Miracle left in me. I need 30. No way of drawing. It's over. Play it out, but it's over. It's fine. That's going to cost us a little. Yep. It's probably the worst matchup for this deck in the current, as I was saying to non-GMO Salt pointing out earlier, it's probably the worst matchup. Yeah. A little unwieldy, especially if this is, again, which might not be. We are just going to drop the Fiat. I think I wouldn't necessarily go as far as solved, but I'd say that we're at the point whereby we are definitely seeing no, let you do the hard work. I think we're at the point whereby people are very quickly finding the strong decks in the expansion. This, that said, I am very interested to see. I don't know whether Intra, if he's still out there, my fellow Esther would agree, but I'm very interested to see where we are a couple of months from now after the size of shakeup, because at the moment we have a very, very narrow meta, and I don't know that that's necessarily because it's a solved meta or because people are just hyper-focused on a single set of decks as being effectively demonstrably better. Which I am honestly not sure is a true statement. I'm interested to see where we land after people have played around more with the new cards. Because I think there are certain experimental decks that are being tried that people are sleeping. I think people are very, very... I think... There isn't a polite way of putting it. The Commando's issue is blinding a lot of people to... I mean, 90% of what was really good about the expansion. Okay. Ow! My BREDA to my face. Now we know you're playing counter mode. This just burned. Even if it's burn, it's over. Yes! Checking my maths. But I am interested to see where we get to once we've kind of cycled through the focus on the new toys, particularly. Like, burn is basically an old deck type, but I don't think we're going to see new decks in a game that's 5 years old. You're just going to see new themes and decorative builds around deck archetypes that have been around before. But I mean, that's the Core's around, and will probably maybe not. I don't know how long Core was playing Magic the Gathering, but there's nothing new under the sun other than adding very, very complex cards to the game. Like, the Magic problem for me at the minute, and one of the reasons I don't go back to it, is they've added a lot of very text-heavy cards. Oh, look, it's Commandos. Because it's the best way to evolve the game. So you get a lot of these kind of quests, or whatever they're called, which then evolve as things go forward. And I get the logic, but at the same time, we have had no announcement for a balance patch. I would not, outside of an emergency balance patch, I would not expect to see one in the summer. Because I think an awful lot of the office will currently be on holiday. That's on board, because we're playing into Commandos. So, barring an emergency balance patch, I'm not necessarily sure we'll see one. I can't speak officially. You'd have to ask Monty. But I would be... I don't think Commandos is tier... I don't think Commandos ever was tier 1. I think the only reason Commandos is currently tier 1 is that people are prepared to sweat it endlessly on a 52-53% win rate. I truly and honestly, it's so high roll. I mean, if you get the high roll, it's the thing, but it's one build, and you either get the high roll or you don't. It's around. It's still very popular. Is it tier 1? convinced. Just no. I am a big proponent of seeing commandos changed, and I think one of the biggest reasons I want to see it changed is the impact on player experience. And I think it will be changed. I just don't think it's going to be changed because it's OP. I think it's going to be changed. Absolutely agree. You and I definitely agree on high roll decks being very, very underwhelming. I would very much prefer to see commandos pinned down. I don't like, but I think it falls into the same category as some of the aggro high roll that is out there at the moment. Okay. That said, double wolves. If anybody wonders why we're double wolvesing, it's because it puts an extra 10 points of stats on the board that they need to chew through to try and buy us some time. What we really, really need right now is to start clearing down. Speaking of putting more stats on, what? I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think the problem with commandos is ramp. But I think the problem largely in the game, like the only reason commandos is as consistent as it is that you can ramp. I do not see anyone playing a successful commandos deck that isn't US ally. This thing is absolutely absurd. It 100% is, because as long as they've got draw in hand, we're dead. Yeah, if you're talking about meta warping, I would agree that Commandos definitely is at the moment. It's too defining. It's become so overpopular. Not sure why, by the way. I personally saying this to Jaking a while ago. I think Core and I have both done testing. Core published his. Go watch his video, by the way. I hate playing the deck. It's really, really dull. It is such a boring deck to play. It's not. It's like playing a game of solitaire, and that's not what I want from my CCGs. I think if you love the high roll, if you love the gamble, then you'll play a lot of it. There are, which is surreal because older Commandos decks, when Commandos wasn't good, I enjoyed playing because it was quite fun. Okay, how to make a calm player miserable. But it is very much that way, and I enjoyed, particularly, I used to very much enjoy playing an ally commandos. Right? Clear the Brewsters. Any ally that isn't US, vastly more. The US ally, staggeringly dull. Because it's you're only interested in can you get the right sequence of cards in your hand by turn 8. Well, not turn 8, credit 8, by the time you can ramp to 8 credits. Whereas BVG shared a old thing, a Commandos deck that I actually rather enjoyed. We're not at home letting board presents. That's fine. It is what this the best budget deck on ladder right now is Commandos. I feel bad saying it, but it's true. It's not elite and special card massively dependent. Which I'm very aware is not going to be the answer people want to hear. I think it's probably the easiest budget deck to build on ladder right now. It's relatively cheap. But I mean, it also depends on. I guess it also heavily depends on what you mean by ladder. If you mean actually competitive ladder, I don't think there is a budget deck that's going to get you in the top 50. You mean actual serious climb? It's just not going to happen. We're not. The last time I think that was viable probably would have been self-damage. Trying to think what else. If anyone else has got any budget decks that maybe you're just talking about getting to Field Marshal, or I'd take a look at Core's Lotta Hines deck as a video. And you can probably cut a few substitutes into that deck and do quite well. US France mid-range is good enough to get to Field Marshal. It got me most of the way this season. And last season. And he's moderately budget friendly. What else would be the new Japan Soviet or Soviet Japan, depending on what your preferred first sign is. I would say the Colm Aggro, Japan Soviet paper aggro, is probably pretty good. Not earth-shatteringly expensive. So I'm going to do the same thing that I always do, which is get the 5 body down before we start seeing the commando spam. Definitely watch Core's video. It's well worth a look. So interestingly, normally I would be upset by that, but we're not really bothered. I I mean, we like the buff, but the buff is substantially less vital than the stats. Buffs high roll. Yeah, I have a buffs deck. That's fairly budget friendly because that's just 4 copies of the new buffs. Kangaroo transport, bunch of buffs US. Yeah, that you could build that if you like a little bit of high roll, you could build that. I had some fun playing that in casual for daily missions. Very, very reasonable value. Obviously. Oh. Yes. This is the magic turn if they have the right hand. So, 1, 2. Oh, I need the 3 orders. That was a fairly terrible turn for their Commandos deck. This could be hilarious. That is one of the best cards in their deck. Six more HP on board, which is the important thing. Wellington's not as good because it's not adding enough. They have 10 credits, so they will clear the board without question. I completely Baker Street. I like the design of Baker Street. I hate that Baker Street can pull Baker Street. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I absolutely loathe that Baker Street can pull Baker Street. I think it's insane. Yeah, you got the high roll. Well done. And that's... oh yeah, hang on. It does not need to be able to spawn itself. No order needs to be able to spawn itself. It's insane. Thing is, you've got to hang up and hope to be able to anti it, which means that you've got to be in a position to play the countermeasure, which quite often you're not. The problem is at that point, as Core's saying, you are basically teching against one deck, and at a certain point, there's Core's video on Heinz. At a certain point, that just isn't good value. Nice, as I say, Commandos is not... I still see it, but I don't see the endless reams of it that I was seeing on my run to Field Marshal. Cool. I think right now and again, how am I doing so well on an incredibly old deck? Deck which is arguably quite old and clunky. Mostly. Yeah. Stop it. There we are. Trade you out on perfect credits. Very dangerous against burn, but we didn't have a choice. I didn't want to wait until turn 5 because I want to be ready for whatever the next set of bodies that come down are. But if this is just burn... I am pinning the draw. I think tempo decks are well positioned for a climb, and I think any deck that you're confident on. Like, I said this when someone was asking in the Cards main Discord about how I was getting where I was getting to. I think a big part of it so this does 5. Regia clears the board. Do we actually? I don't think we do. Rather... think. Yeah, I think we'd rather do it this way. Not easy, because burn is burn. There's every chance they've got 7 damage of burn in hand. That's 2. 5 is not hard for them to find. Thank you. I do consider it to be a fairly well-built deck. And yeah, it is. It's almost as though somehow that actually does something useful. 8, then Regia wins. We only take. So this is going to be interesting. Also, almost like mathematics can help you win card games. Who'd have thunk it? A lot of elo for that, though. What is our currently? So, for those wondering, we are 23.79 and 22nd in the world. Oop, Leo's been on. Hello, Leo. Leo was a good bit below me when I last looked. Hey, Red Sun. How are you? You're still watching. Hello. Hearing from behind me. Also, out of curiosity, I'd be interested to see what you're on. But yeah, you can definitely build in it. You can definitely build a Field Marshal worthy, moderately priced Heinz deck. because Heinz is just Heinz. I honestly cannot say that this counts as grinding. I spent this afternoon in paralysis. I've been overheated and dehydrated for days. I'm incredibly tired, and I'm multitasking talking to you guys. It's an incredibly subopt. This was grinding. It's incredibly suboptimal grinding. But it is fun. Like, the only reason I'm where I am is that I happen to be having fun and doing all right on a deck that I enjoy. I have no desire to just switch out and tack and... Okay, so we're doubling up. My actual competitive... Also, I've said it before, I would never... If I was climbing, seriously climbing, I wouldn't be streaming. Oh. No. Followed by... Not going to let go. By the way, the flotilla motifs in the background do look quite funky, I have to say. I've been quite enjoying those. I like the little national motif background. And I quite enjoy the interaction on. Those of you who followed my coverage for this expansion got to have a sneak peek too, because this snuck its way into the background on a number of my content. I think we just drop a Spitfire. Realistically. Don't mind riding that out because it's Ifu on board. Really do with finding our draw though. Give you that one, that was decent. Don't find draw, we just use. Regia would be good. Now it would be a lot less good. Raiders find the point. Face. You do 8 to face, but you probably won't. Ifu in the Spitfire again. body. Oh. You actually threatening lethal? At least this. With Gifu. Gifu's too good of a trade. Thank you kindly, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I probably won't be on for that much longer. I need to take a break in a bit. That's wise buzz bombing, which makes me sad. Our opponent is rather good. This is an interesting deck. Yeah. I mean, Monty, our only hope. So, we'll go quietly into the... We play another one, maybe two. Depends on what we find, so... MACCHI C.200. Have good dinner. Hopefully it'll be something nice. Thank you. So this is just gonna be point for point as you expect it to be, which is fine. Got a decent turn. Need a decent turn 3. But this one. Be able to get big bodies board. We're getting perilously close to the God Hand turn. Now they have plan. That's okay, we were largely expecting that. Drop this. Spread the actual threat out. And we'll see how big of a turn they can fire. So this is just count the orders. The first of which, of course, will be Commando Raid. Unless, of course, they don't find Commando Raid, in which case they've just lost. The following series of events is brought to you by the school of incredibly frustrated Commando players. So, did you find it? Thank you for the follow. Okay, that was brought to you by an incredibly frustrated Commando player. Right, where are we? We are at 22. More importantly, Red Sun. Find us. A little bit catching up to do. Wonder if we can just a little further ahead. Probably the last game of the stream. I could do with going and taking a bit of break for myself, but I will almost certainly upload this as a if you are watching this later and I've uploaded it to YouTube, you probably have tuned out most of the nattering. Because I don't know whether I've said anything particularly useful. This is not properly educational, but I've tried to talk through my play process as best I can while streaming. That's terrible starting hand, and we're just skipping everything. In return for which... Ooh. Excellent. That's kind of cool. Oh, I like finding the Fiat. Okay. Germany, Britain, so Germany, Britain control? Maybe? See. Germany, Britain discard? Getting spicy with it? There's the Blitz Doctrine. Brave call with 9 damage on board. I think the 2 damage is not necessarily that good, so we're going to have a little bit of a dig. Take the 7. Refill our hand a bit in case we are going to get heavy discarded. I'm guessing Contest Doctrine. No, Route. Okay. If we're maybe about to get big Contest Doctrine play, hoping to get to Mouse. Wouldn't have been unsurprising. Board presence, which I'm and honestly, we're not a fan of you having any of that, so you can't. I legitimately am not sure that Route isn't a little bit overrated. Really have to build around it. There's a few things we could do here. But we're going to do the one that's the most fun. In case you've got any clever ideas about attempting to put that back on top of your deck and endless cycling routes onto me attempt to have. There's the capitulation. Nothing we could have done to answer it anyway, otherwise we'd have been prepared for it, but that's alright. We can but hope, my peaceful friend, we can but hope. Right. Monty, which I legitimately into your deck anyway. So we draw through your routed troops. We can. Okay. WinCon is Comet and or Mouse. There's a few things I'd love to see right now. That's one of them. Mouse would be annoying right now, but you don't have 12 credits. The best chance they had was to pull Crossfire, but if they had it, they had it. I just punt on the assumption they don't have it. Well, we finished top 20, which is not bad. 23.85. And by the morning, that'll have gone down substantially. We've done alright. And we had fun doing it. If you're watching this back and looking at it, you can probably go back and... Ooh, it's my first gold humber. Yes, it was a misplay. Occasionally my hand doesn't follow what my brain tells it to do. Is one of the reasons I don't compete anymore. So I knew where I wanted to put it, but the message went from here to here, and then when I moved my hand, did the wrong thing, which is brain damage for you. But yeah, it's a good deck, but I think the reason you're not seeing it played by other is it's not the new thing. It's not using all the new OP cards that everybody's so determined to see as being the thing and OP and strong. And so people don't play it, which I think is kind of sad. But as ever, thank you all for being here. Take care of yourself. Be good humans, and I will be back at some point. Check out YouTube and Discord. Please. I don't know. So this will go up on YouTube. I'll just upload this as a stream. Apparently I'm having a day. My logical issues. And if you happen to be able to, support is always appreciated. I'll be back. You can check out Discord to see how I go and whether I continue. I'll post the occasional update on how we're doing. We're not massively doing it, but you're very welcome. It's a solid deck. I recommend people try it. It does take a lot of getting your head around to learn to play it well, but it can get results. Much love, everyone.